Somewhere inside you, there's a life that keeps trying to get your attention. Not loudly, not with fireworks, more like a quiet knock from another room. You can ignore it for a while. You can keep moving through the day, answering messages, paying bills, smiling when people ask how you are, doing all the things that make life look fine. But deep down, there's still that small ache, a strange feeling that says, there's more than this. There has to be more than this. Maybe you felt it at night, when everything gets quiet and the distractions stop working. Maybe you felt it in the middle of a perfectly normal day, while standing in line somewhere, driving home, scrolling your phone, or sitting across from people who know your face but not your inner world. A dream rises inside you, and for a second you can almost see it, a different version of your life, a freer version, a more alive version. Then the mind steps in and says, be realistic, don't get carried away. People like you don't just change everything. But here's where the hidden laws begin. Long before something becomes visible in your world, it starts as an invisible pattern within you. A thought, a feeling, a frequency. Quantum physics, when simplified into human language, points towards something ancient mystics were already whispering. Reality is not as solid as it appears. Matter is not dead. You are not just a body moving through a fixed world. You are energy, awareness, attention, emotion, and choice. And your dreams are not random fantasies. Many times they are signals from a deeper part of you, calling you toward the life your soul already recognizes. You've probably walked into a place before and immediately felt something. No one had to explain it. No one needed to announce the energy in the room. You just knew. Maybe the place felt warm, light, open, almost like your chest could breathe deeper there. Or maybe it felt heavy, tense, draining, like your body wanted to leave before your mind had a reason. People often call that vibes, and honestly, the word can sound casual, even overused. But behind it is something very real. Your nervous system, your emotions, and your energy field are always reading information before your logical mind catches up. Quantum physics tells us that what appears solid is, at a deeper level, vibrating energy. Your body looks physical, yes. Your hands, your face, your eyes, your bones, all of it seems firm and separate. Yet beneath the surface, everything is moving. Everything is in motion. Even the chair you're sitting on is not as still as it seems. Life is more like music than stone. Different notes, different rhythms, different frequencies. And just like a radio only plays the station it's tuned to, your inner state influences the kind of reality you keep noticing, choosing, attracting, and creating. Now let's keep this grounded, because it's easy to turn these ideas into something vague. A low emotional state doesn't mean you're broken or cursed. Fear, grief, shame, anger, and exhaustion are not moral failures. They're signals. They tell you where something inside needs care, release, movement, or truth. The problem begins when you start living there permanently, when fear becomes your home, when disappointment becomes your identity, when you expect life to keep hurting you, and without realizing it, your attention keeps searching for evidence that confirms the pain. A higher frequency doesn't mean pretending to be happy while your heart is falling apart. No, that's not alignment, that's performance. Real elevation begins with honesty. You notice what's moving through you, you breathe, you allow the feeling without worshipping it. Then, little by little, you choose a better inner station, maybe through movement, maybe through deep breathing, maybe through silence, prayer, meditation, music, sunlight, or one small decision that says, I'm not going to abandon myself today. Tiny shifts matter. A person doesn't climb a mountain in one jump. They rise step by step, breath by breath, until the air starts to change. Once you understand that your inner frequency matters, the next question becomes simple but uncomfortable. Where is your attention going all day? Because energy doesn't just float around randomly, it follows attention. Whatever you keep feeding with focus begins to grow roots in your inner world. And eventually, what has roots inside you starts looking for form outside you. Not always instantly. not always in the way your impatient mind demands, but steadily, quietly, faithfully. Most people don't fail because they have no dreams. They fail because their attention is divided against itself. They say they want love, but keep rehearsing rejection. They say they want abundance, but spend every day emotionally bowing to lack. They say they want purpose, but keep asking for permission from people who are also afraid. It's like planting a seed in the morning, digging it up in the afternoon, then wondering why the garden never grows. Dreams need energetic consistency. They need a place inside you where they're not constantly being attacked by doubt, comparison, and old programming. So pause for a moment and ask yourself something honest. Not what looks impressive, not what would make people clap, not what your family understands, not what your fear thinks is safe. What do you actually desire? What kind of life makes your chest feel wider when you imagine it? What work would make you feel useful? What relationship would feel peaceful instead of performative? What version of your body, your mind, your home, your finances, your spiritual life feels like a deeper truth trying to become real? A dream becomes powerful when it stops being a vague wish and becomes an energetic decision, not a desperate demand, not begging life to finally be kind. More like choosing a direction so clearly that your thoughts, habits, environment, and emotional patterns begin to organize around it. Ancient wisdom says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Not because vision is decoration, but because without vision, your energy scatters. You chase distractions. You live from reaction. You accept whatever frequency the world hands you. But when your vision becomes clear, you stop being pulled by every passing mood. You begin to move like someone who remembers where they're going. After attention comes environment, and this part matters more than most people want to admit. You can have a powerful intention in the morning, meditate for 20 minutes, journal beautifully, feel connected to your dream, and then spend the rest of the day surrounded by people, conversations, content, and habits that pull you right back into the old frequency. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. We are porous. We absorb. We adapt. We become like the rooms we keep entering. Think of yourself like a flame. A flame can become a fire in the right conditions, but in a storm, it spends all its energy just trying not to die. Some people are wind against your flame. Every time you leave them, you feel smaller, heavier, more doubtful, more confused. They may not even be bad people. Maybe they're just deeply committed to their own fear, and without meaning to, they invite you to worship it with them. Other people are oxygen. Around them, your ideas expand, your courage returns, your nervous system softens, you remember what's possible. The same applies to what you consume. A person can't feed the mind chaos all day and expect the soul to feel clear at night. Endless comparison, outrage, gossip, shallow noise, and fear-based content slowly train your frequency, quietly, sneakily, like drops of water filling a cup. Then one day, you wonder why you feel anxious, uninspired, or far away from your own dreams. Well, look at the diet of your attention, not just food, emotional food, mental food, spiritual food. What are you eating through your eyes and ears every day? Protecting your energy isn't arrogance, it's stewardship. It means you understand that your dream needs a certain atmosphere to grow. Farmers don't plant seeds in poisoned soil and then blame the seed. They change the soil, they remove weeds, they water what matters. In the same way, you may need to bless some old environments and leave them behind. You may need to spend less time explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You may need to choose conversations that stretch you, books that sharpen you, silence that restores you, and relationships that remind you of the person you're becoming. Here's the part people often skip. Feeling good is beautiful, but feeling good alone is not the whole path. A dream becomes real through repeated alignment, through showing up when the excitement fades, through choosing the higher frequency, even when the old pattern is begging for control, through refusing to collapse just because reality hasn't caught up yet. In simple words, you don't just manifest the dream, you become the kind of person who can hold it. There will be moments when nothing seems to be working. Of course there will. Every meaningful transformation has a strange middle phase where the old life is falling away, but the new one hasn't fully arrived. It feels awkward, empty, sometimes even embarrassing. You're no longer who you were, but you're not yet fully who you're becoming. Most people turn back right there. They mistake the silence for failure. They think life isn't responding, when actually the deeper pattern is rearranging. During that middle phase, you need a mantra that steadies you, something simple, something you can return to when your mind wants to spiral. Things are working out for me, not because every moment feels good, not because you deny difficulty, but because you choose to believe there is a higher intelligence moving through the process, even when your eyes can't yet measure the evidence. A seed underground could easily think nothing is happening. It's dark, it's pressured, it's alone. But from the outside we know the truth. The seed isn't being buried, it's being prepared. Make the dream non-negotiable, but don't make your nervous system suffer for it. There's a difference between devotion and desperation. Desperation says, I need this dream to happen so I can finally feel worthy. Devotion says, I am worthy now, and because of that, I will keep becoming available for the dream. Feel the difference? One is tight, the other is powerful. One chases, the other aligns. When you stand strong for what you desire from love rather than lack, your energy changes, your choices change, your standards change, and over time reality has no choice but to meet the new version of you. Many people hear ideas about quantum physics and manifestation and assume it means sitting still, imagining a better life, and waiting for the universe to deliver it like a package at the door. But real creation is more intimate than that. Your dream doesn't only ask to be received, it asks to reshape you. It asks for your attention, your courage, your habits, your environment, your emotional maturity, and your willingness to stop identifying with the old story. A person who wants abundance must start noticing where they still live emotionally loyal to scarcity. A person who wants love must notice where they keep protecting themselves from being truly seen. A person who wants purpose must notice where they keep choosing comfort over aliveness. None of this is about blame, it's about power. Because once you see the pattern, you can change the pattern. And once you change the pattern, your outer world begins to respond to a different signal. Quantum possibility is not some faraway mystical cloud. It's present in every moment where you choose differently, when you breathe instead of react, when you tell the truth instead of shrinking, when you take one step toward the dream even though your hands are shaking, when you stop asking, is this realistic? And start asking, who would I become if I honored this desire? That question opens doors, not all at once, but enough to keep walking. And maybe that's the real secret. Your dream becomes real when you stop treating it like a fantasy and start treating it like a frequency you are responsible for embodying. You don't need to control every detail. You don't need to know the entire road. You don't need everyone to understand. You only need to keep turning the dial toward the life that feels true, again and again, with patience, with honesty, with a little humor too, because honestly, growth can be messy. Some days you'll feel like a master. Other days you'll feel like you forgot every lesson you ever learned. Keep going anyway.